All right, today we're doing something a little different. We're not just going to review a product. We're going to conduct a full, honest audit of Notion Launchpad. It's an AI tool for creators, and we're going to deconstruct it piece by piece to see what actually makes a product launch ready. More importantly, we'll see how an audit like this becomes the foundation for a killer marketing plan.
So let's just cut right to the chase. Here's the big question this whole thing hinges on. Can a tool that calls itself an AI co-founder really take your idea and turn it into a $59,000 launch? I mean, that is a huge promise. The only way to find out is to really get in there and look under the hood. So let's break it down.
Okay, here's our game plan. First, we'll dive into the market context, what I'm calling the Notion Gold Rush. Then, we'll look at the product's winning formula. After that, we get to the really juicy stuff, its hidden weaknesses. And that's going to lead us to a major strategic crossroads before we finally deliver the final verdict. Let's get started.
First up, the Notion Gold Rush. See, to really get any product, you have to understand the world it exists in. And Notion Launchpad lives right in the middle of the booming and, frankly, very lucrative creator economy.
In this slide, wow, it just perfectly captures the engine of that economy. It's this simple flywheel, right? Creators build stuff, they distribute it on places like Gumroad, and they monetize it. But smack in the middle of that whole system is the one thing that stops so many people dead in their tracks. I want to do this, but I have no idea what to build.
And you know, solving that one problem is a massive opportunity. We're talking serious money here. The successful creators in this space, they're pulling in anywhere from $1,000 to $20,000 from a single template. The demand is absolutely there.
And that's exactly where Notion Launchpad comes in. It's an AI tool aimed right at Notion creators with a very specific, and let's be honest, very powerful promise. It is designed to help you, the beginner, get to your first $1,000 in revenue. That's the solution it's offering.
Okay, so the market is definitely hot, and the product has a super clear promise. So let's move on and look at its winning formula. The stuff this product just gets absolutely right. The things you'd put front and center in any sales pitch.
And right off the bat, the audit gives it 4 out of 5 stars for market fit. That is a huge signal. It means the product is built on a really solid foundation. It's targeting a real problem for a hungry audience, and believe me, that's half the battle won right there. Now this is where it gets really smart. In a world full of general AI tools like ChatGPT, Notion Launchpad has carved out this perfect, defensible niche. It isn't just another AI. It's the AI strategist strictly for Notion creators. That specificity, that's its competitive moat. That's what makes it stand out. So just to recap its strengths, it has that laser-sharp niche focus, a super powerful psychological hook with that $1,000 promise, and on top of that, the tech is clean and modern, and it's just perfectly aligned with where the creator economy is going.
Okay, but let's be real. An honest audit isn't just a hype piece. To build a marketing strategy that actually works, you have to be brutally honest about a product's flaws. So now, let's get into the hidden weaknesses, the big reality check before you launch.
The first big weakness is technical. So, as you can see here, the front end, what the user sees, is great. It's built with modern stuff like React and Tailwind. But look what's missing. There's no database, no user accounts, no payment system. This means it isn't really a software as a service or a SaaS platform. It's more of a one-and-done generator tool.
And that brings us to what is, without a doubt, the most critical risk. This slide shows 2 different states. The current state is the danger zone, a basic prompt that might just spit out generic ideas. The required state is the fix, an AI that's actually fed with real proprietary market insights. You see, the entire value of this product rests on the quality of what it gives you. If that output is generic, the whole thing falls apart.
And that leads to the single most dangerous thought a potential customer could possibly have. I could just ask ChatGPT this. The moment a user thinks that, you've lost. The product has failed to prove its value. Overcoming this one objection has to be the #1 goal of any marketing you do. So, knowing its strengths, and maybe more importantly, its weaknesses, brings us to a strategic crossroads. How do you actually sell this thing? Well, the audit's findings actually give us a really clear path to profit. The audit lays out 3 potential paths. You've got path 2, the SaaS model with subscriptions, which sounds great, right? But the warning is clear. That would mean a total back-end rebuild. Path 3, selling it as a boilerplate, basically just the raw code, is an option, but probably not the main one, which leaves us with a very clear winner. Path 1, sell it as a simple digital product, a one-time purchase. This is the best fit, hands down. Why?
because it perfectly matches the technology as it exists right now. It leans into the product's strength as a powerful one-time tool and completely avoids the weakness of not having a backend for subscriptions.
So what's the magic number? The audit recommends $59. It calls this the sweet spot. It just strikes that perfect psychological balance for the people you're selling to. It's serious enough to feel valuable, but not so pricey that it makes them hesitate. And this just brilliantly shows you the power of making the right strategic choices. At that $59 price point, even a totally baseline launch of 100 sales gets you almost $6,000. But a really well-marketed viral launch that hits 1,000 sales, that's your $59,000. This makes the audit's advice real, tangible, and powerful. So we've looked at the market, the product, and the strategy. Now it's time to pull it all together for the final verdict, which really is more like a blueprint for a successful launch.
The final score from the audit is a 7.8 out of 10. And that's a very strong score. It tells us this is a highly viable idea with a clear path to making money, but it has specific structural gaps that are holding it back from being truly elite, a 9 or a 10. And this radar chart is a fantastic visual for why that is. You can see it scores super high on things like market demand and its tech stack, but it's being held back by lower scores in feature depth and, crucially, differentiation, which just reinforces that risk of feeling a little too generic.
And it all comes down to this. The final verdict is basically an actionable checklist that becomes the core of your whole plan. Number 1, fix that generic AI risk by scraping real market data. 2, double down on the $59 one-time launch strategy. And 3, market it relentlessly with that powerful hook, the AI co-founder for your first 1K Notion template.
So, what's the big takeaway from all this? The most powerful marketing plan doesn't start with catchy slogans. It starts with an honest, critical look at the product itself. The audit shows you what to shout about and what to fix, which really just leads to one final question for you. What's one big assumption about your own project that you still haven't tested?